Welcome to another beautiful week, another beautiful day. Of course, the first working day of the week. And we pray that this week be beautiful, be blessed, and prosperous for each and every one of us. And you are welcome to the Healthy Corner here on View Radio. Here we talk about our general health, physically, socially, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, every aspect of health. Because, like they say, health is wealth. And my name is Madam Chi. Today we'll be talking about IED, intermittent in explosive disorder, IED. So today, because of how vast this case is, we're going to be looking at what it means, the causes, and the possible symptoms. Then by next week, we'll be rounding it up. So today we'll be looking at what IED is, what are the causes of IED, and then what are the possible symptoms, things that if you see in people, you'll be able to dictate or say this person is living with IED, and then we also know how to help them out by next time we're coming on the show. Don't forget, you can drop your comments, your thoughts, your opinion, your questions on our social media platform. On Facebook is at View Radio, on Instagram View Radio, YouTube View Radio. We are streaming on YouTube and on Facebook. Like, comment, and share. God bless you. And today, we're going to be going into the definition. And why we're going to define it, in case you have someone or you are seeing any of these traces in your life. The problem with us is that we tend to take everything like it's normal. There are things that are not normal. When people begin to do things out of proportion, you better seek for solutions, or better seek for advice to know if this is normal or is abnormal. IED is a mental disorder that causes people to have periods of intensive anger and sudden outbursts without reason. It makes people to have intensive or intense anger and outbursts without reason. It can make one aggressive and even violent. It can make one to be very aggressive, and it can make one to be very, very violent. This disorder can make one yell. People begin to yell unnecessarily, get in fights. Things are not supposed to cause fights. They get in fight, throw or break things around them, abuse others, and can have road rage because of this disorder. This behavior stress one out and affect your day-to-day activities and even relationship. That is how dangerous it is. It can affect your day-to-day activities. It can affect your relationship with your partner, with your boss, with your colleagues, with your neighbors. It can affect your relationship. IED is a mental health condition marked by frequent impulsive anger, outbursts, and aggression. It's marked by frequent impulsive anger. You get angry easily. Little things you are triggered. Little things they are triggered. People with IED have a low tolerance for frustration and adversity. They cannot take frustration. They cannot take adversities. They cannot take challenges, stress. They have no level of managing all of this. Approximately 80% of people with IED have another mental health condition. That is one ugly thing about IED. It leads you, or it brings another mental health conditions alongside, such as anxiety disorder, intellectual disabilities, inability to capture things intellectually, autism, and other similar disorder, being the most common among people with IED. It brings along anxiety disorder, autism, intellectual disabilities. These are the things they suffer. People with IED, they suffer it alongside. Researchers estimated that approximately 1.4% of people have IED disorder. 1.4% of people living in the world have IED disorder. Do you have that disorder? Are you having any symptom, anything close to IED? We'll get to know about that when we get back from this break. Don't go nowhere. We will be right back. You're welcome back from that break. And today on Healthy Corner, we are talking about intermittent explosive disorder. Intermittent explosive disorder, IED. And while I was defining it, and something just came across my mind, and we see people, or let's say we see men, tend to beat their wives or girlfriends, out of any little trigger, things that are not supposed to lead to you beating, or yelling, or getting angry. You begin to get angry easily. And we, as let me use the word Nigeria, especially from this part of the world that we are Africa and Nigeria to be specific, we take things to be ordinary. When you tell people that, are you sure this person's behavior is ordinary? It's ordinary now. We don't find it fun, or we don't find it interesting or important to go seek for medical advice or go make research about such some behaviors that probably our children, our teens, our youth, our brothers and sisters display, and we think that they are ordinary, that probably with time they will outgrow it, they will grow past it, or they will overcome it, which never be. If a young man that is suffering from IED is not able to get cure or get help before getting married, what do you expect in such a marriage? He's going to be beating his wife blue, black, and pink. She's obviously going to turn to a punching bag. So when you see some behaviors, don't just assume that they are normal. We really need to seek for help. Very, very important. So, what are the causes of IED? One is genetic. It is genetic. We've seen people that the way their fathers, their mothers behave, they have such traces, or such, not even traces, the replicant of that behavior. So it is genetic. IED tend to run in families. So you could have inherited a IED from your generation. That makes it more likely to have the that makes it more likely for you to have this disorder, because you have inherited it from your parents. As much as 72% of IED diagnoses are tied to a family history. People with IED that have gone to for a diagnosis, that have gone for checkup, that have gone for treatment, it was linked back to their family. It was traced back to their family. It was traced back to the history of their family, making it genetic. So, like I said earlier, when you see some cases, some things, some behaviors or actions in the life of your children, check yourself and then seek for help for them on time. Don't let it go out of proportion. And second one is biological factors. Studies have shown that brain structure and function are altered in IED. For example, brain magnetic resonance. there is this portion or this side of the brain that is in charge of the way we react to things, that assimilates the way we think, that the way we receive things. People that you talk a little things that are not supposed to trigger anger, they get angry easily, is because of the function of their brains. So why some other people, no matter what you say to them, is natural. You see it often. No matter what you say to them, they don't get angry. They either laugh or smile over it, or just look at you like you're not serious. So biological factors also plays a part in IED. So we need to know which one is really working for you, which one is the factor that is causing it for you. And studies suggested that it affects the way people behave, it affects the way people think, it affects people's emotion because of the biological factors. If it affects the way people behave, the way people reason, the way people think, and people's emotions. So some people, every little thing you do gets to their emotions, and they react. They react without even assimilating the words you're saying. They react without even thinking. They only take the first action that comes to their mind without thinking what will be the outcome of what am I about to do? What will be the outcome of my actions right now? What is it going to end? What will be the end of that my action? So they just act without reasoning, without thinking it through. If it's going to be disastrous, or it's going to add, will I say, solve whatever that is on ground. And the next one is environmental factors. The thing is that so many of us, the places we grow up, the things we see, and if you check most of these disorders, environmental factors are always inclusive. Environmental factors: experiencing verbal and physical abuse in childhood or witnessing abuse during childhood appears to play a role in the development of IED, or having experienced one or more traumatic events in childhood that seems to play a major role. We abuse our children. We abuse our helps in the presence of our children. We abuse our spouse in the presence of our children. We abuse, you grew up in an environment where abuse is the order of the day. So this kind of people that grow in such environment has the tendency, or has a higher risk of having IED. It's a thing of the mind. It's what they see. You have witnessed so many traumatic events. You have witnessed abuses. You have been molested as a child. You were abused as a child. You begin to nurture it, and you grow up with it. So that is why we need to also take a critical look at our environments, where we tend to raise our children, where we grow up. Where you grow up as you become an adult, and you think that my environment plays a negative part or a negative role in my life. I don't think such person should allow his children or his offspring to be raised in such an environment again. The best you could do is to move away from such horrific and disastrous environments, because they play major part in most of these disorders. They play major parts, they play major roles. So environment where you were raised, where you were born, where you grew up, plays a major role in IED. Is a disorder, and all of these things plays a major role in the life of our children. So what kind of environment are you in currently? What kind of environment were you raised? Is it a pointer to the betterment of your future, or is it a disaster to your future? If you know the kind of environment you are raised, then don't allow your children go through such environment if it's not adding to the betterment of your tomorrow. We'll be going on a quick break, and when I get back from that break, we'll be looking at some of the symptoms of people with IED. And probably you have such symptoms, or you know people around you that display such symptom at real, like at real. Then we know what to do about it. Don't go nowhere. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Welcome back from that break. Before we went for that break, we were talking about the causes of IED. We talk about genetic, we talk about environment, and we talk about biological factors, which is the part of the brain that makes you that allows you reason or assimilate things that is not functioning well. So we're going to be looking at some of the symptoms. What brought me to this topic, or what made me go to into research, were actually two things that people displayed over the last week, and I decided to say, let me see if it's bigger than what we are seeing, because I've seen people say I'm a stammerer. Because I find difficult to speak, I beat people. I'm a stammerer because I find difficult to express myself. I break things. I once dated a stammerer that that was why I quit that relationship actually. But he never raised his hand or I know against me. But because of what we grew up to know, that stammerers are wicked. So because they can't express themselves with words, they can do it with punch. So and another person that she shout when I say she shouts at ease and use abusive words as if they are normal words, you know. So I look at these two people and I said, okay, let me see if there is more to all of this thing that we are seeing at normal. And I went into research and luckily I found something. Two different things actually. So, but today we're talking about the IED. So what we're looking at are the causes now. The causes is shouts and use of abusive words. One of the symptoms, rather, one of the symptoms is you see people that shout and use abusive words at will, at ease, as if they are nothing. Like they shout, you know, parents, no, not the shout. I'm not talking about the shouting of parents to children, because the thing is that I will tell them that a child will always be a child. No matter how you shout now, they will still go back to it. So not that shouting of parents to a child now. People that tends to shout as, will I call it a provocation? No. At a slighted mistake? No. At any given time, they shout and they use abusive words at ease. That is one of the symptoms. And the second symptom is slap or pushes people or even punching. You know, I've seen men that, you know, a guy to a guy that they were talking, and the other guy was very fluent in his words. As he was very very fluent in his words, so the other person was finding it difficult to speak. The only thing what he was able to do was, you know, to throw punches at the other guy. So when they separated them from that fight, and they were asking, but he didn't push you, he didn't touch you, he was only talking, and he said that he find it difficult to express because he saw the other guy, like the other guy was intimidating him with his words. The words were flowing out of his mouth easily, but he think that what was necessary or what was the better option he had was to punch, and he throw punches at that person. So they tend to slap or push or punch people at will. This is another symptom. They slap, push, or punch people at will. So anytime you see people, not when I say punch, slap, or push, not something that happened once in a month, not something that happened once in a year. No, at every slightest provocation, if I can use that word, or at every slightest mistake, or at every slight opportunity, they tend to push people, slap people, or punch people. And for them, it's normal. Do you get? It's normal for them. And then the second one, they damage your or someone else's property. They find it fun, or it means nothing to them to damage even their property or someone else's property. I have that kind of auntie, although she's late now. I have that kind of auntie. Even if she acquired the property now, any little provocation, she goes to that property and destroys it. And funny enough, when she destroys it, after a while, it's like the web will clear off her face, and she begin to regret, why did I even get to this point? So they tend to destroy their property or somebody's else's property, and it means nothing, and they feel nothing about it until it clears off their eyes. They see nothing about it. So another symptom is sudden range. This range of anger, like the anger that you be imagine, is it because I stepped on you? Okay, now coming to a girlfriend to boyfriend. This is what another reason why I went into research. I met this, I won't call them couples, but these two lovebirds, they were in relationship. That was on Saturday. I met them, and where we met is not a place that any reasonable guy will slap his girlfriend. It's not. Relationship of 2 years. And this lady was dancing, and she, was dancing with her man. And mistakenly, she stepped on him right in front of everybody. He left his 5 fingers on her face. Like he slapped her and began to yell and begin to shout, "Are you mad? Can't you see what is wrong with you? How many times will I tell you?" And people begin to hold him back. And he didn't see it as if he did anything wrong. For him, he was actually right. Not even slapping her alone. He slapped. I don't think there's any disgusting words, abusive words that he did not render on her that day. And fellow guys are a guy, he never reached now. Guy is not up to this now. And when the girl pulled out and sat down, she was crying. So about three of us went to her and was like, trying to console her, women supporting women. You understand that vibe, women supporting women. And she was like, "I'm tired, I'm this and this." And she said that the guy is suffering from IED. I screamed, IED. And you were managing him for 2 years. And she said beating is now not marriage, in a relationship. So beating is just like a norms for her. So this sudden rage of anger, and they want to do something. They want to get their angry. They want to display their anger at every little provocation. Another one is their frustration. People with IED are always frustrated. They find it frustrating. Every little thing they do that they see that is not making headway, they are already frustrated. They easily get frustrated. So they will even display the frustration, and they want to ease their frustration on you. Frustration. Another one is scattered thoughts. Their thoughts are not together. Their thoughts are scattered. Their thoughts are not in place at all. They are scattered. They are not in shape. Their thoughts are always scattered. Fast heartbeat. Okay, their heartbeat very, very fast. Like, not like myself that I can put my hand on my chest. And this happens. Notice, if you're not suffering from, you're not having any disorder, you're just a normal person. When you're angry, when I say angry, when you're angry, place your hand on your chest. your heart will begin to beat very, very fast. Maybe you've not tried it, go and try it. If you remember, when you're angry, when you're raging with anger, just put your hand on your chest. You notice that your heartbeat will become times 5 or even 10 of the usual way it used to beat. So please, these are some of the symptoms. Shaking, at every little anger, every little thing, they are already shaking. They want to display, they want to destroy things, they are always shaking. Why I'm listing out these symptoms is in case you are seeing any of this in the life of your partner, in the life of your friend, your colleague, your neighbor. So let's know how to help them out of this. But you see, high level of energy. Their energy is always on the 100. Their energy is always high. Their energy is always high, ready to do it, ready to do it. But when it boomerang, you will not like the outcome of it. And then lastly, tightness in the chest. Tightness, you begin to feel like your chest is blocking. Maybe once in a while you feel your chest is blocking. This also happens to people with high blood pressure or people that have overthink. I didn't say people that are reasoning, not people that are pondering, people that think. You begin to think, how will I do this? How will I do that? How will I do that? How will I do that? You begin to feel as if you're losing your breath, tightness of the chest. So please, let's look out for all of these things because there is nothing you can achieve when you're not healthy. There is nothing you can do when you're not healthy. There is no amount of work you can do when you are not healthy. So when they say your health is wealth, that is 100% correct. Do well to check out your health status. And next week, of course, we'll be concluding on this IED. What's your experience? Or do you have anyone with similar symptoms? Have you experienced any of this that I've mentioned? Or anyone I did not mention, please drop your comments on the comment section and your thoughts and your question. We'll be coming back here next week to do the conclusive part of IED. My name is Madam Chi, and a big shout out to all of you that have joined the show today. Do have a great week ahead. Bye bye.